I'm James, and this is Recap 3.0. The platform starts vaguely in a busy setting. You will see first a dynamic place where the food is being meticulously prepared. There is an active older adult in a formal suit, somewhat an authority figure, who roams around the place and checks off everything on the menu thoroughly, like there's a vast food fest about to happen. You can see different kinds of meat, fish, fruit, wine, and dessert prepared. This place where they prepare all the food is Platform 0. The people were hired to design the best quality food for Platform 1 and beyond. A bearded man wakes up in a concrete room where he sees an older man. This smug older man tells him they're on Platform 48, and it's the first day of the month. He explains that they will eat whatever the leftovers are from levels 1 to 47. Trauma gas, he says, obviously, is his catchphrase. Every time he ends a sentence like NADA, saying database. So, the younger man attempts to shake the older man's hand as a gesture. He introduces himself as Gauri. The older man responds, requesting to get back to his spot. The smug older man assumes his roommate will only last for a while since he's too friendly. Then, he introduces himself as Trying Gassy. After 1 month, the roommates get shuffled to another platform when it's time to eat a platform full of leftover food to sense trauma. Gassy is surprised that there's wine still left, with the bottle roaring, and skips eating because of disgust. He sees a clean-looking apple and keeps it for later when it's time for the platform to descend trauma gas. He empties the wine, spits what's left in his mouth, and throws the bottle below. After the platform lowers the room, it starts to heat up and fry everything inside, Trying and Gassy. The veteran tells him it's the apple goring that keeps that heat or cools the room. If anyone tries to keep the food, he drops the apple. Goring entered the hole because he wanted to quit his smoking habit and get the chance to read Don Quixote. On the second day, Trauma Gassy does the usual and eats the leftovers, trauma gas. He explains that he accidentally killed someone outside because he threw his television out of frustration after buying a self-sharpening knife called Samurai Max. The authorities gave him 2 options. They will take him either to the nut house or the hole where he obviously is currently located. Goring asks, "How deep is the hole trauma?" Gassy says he was deep in 132, but there were more floors than he could see below. Goring shows what he brought with him as he enters the hole. A copy of Don Quixote's Trauma Gassy then reveals what he brought into the hole. A Samurai Plus, which Goring joked about earlier the next day. Try me. Gassy is usually shown feasting on food. Goring decides to join in. Another day passes trauma. Gassy brags about how the Samurai Plus gets sharper, while Goring stretches his body as he reads the book. As they talked, a person from a higher platform fell and bumped near the edge where Goring stood. The corpse continuously falls down the platform. Goring gets his face splattered with blood due to shock. Goring accuses Trimmer, Gassy, of eating his roommate when he was 132 for survival, while they are fighting. The platform descends with the lady sitting in the middle of it. Trauma Gassy calls the woman who descended from the platform Eru. Trauma Gassy says that Mira kills her roommates at the end of the month. She does this so she can look for her son below the platform. Trauma. Gassy hints that the man who fell might be near her is a victim of trauma. Gassy also explained that it is Platform 132. He and his roommate ate a corpse that fell on them for survival. His roommate then got out of the hall with an accreditation. Maru then gets harassed by people on Platform 49. After a few seconds, they hear a couple of men screaming. Maru gets back on the platform and descends. Goring reads the book to Trauma Gassy. They get along until the last day of the month. Trauma Gassy prayed that they get to a higher level because he's grown fond of Goring and his kindness. They both doze off because of the sleeping gas. In his second month, Goring wakes up, tied up to his bed with Trauma Gassy, welcoming him with a samurai. Plus, he and Trauma Gassy happen to be in a lower level, and Platform 171, where there is likely to be no food at all. Trauma Gassy promises that he will not eat Goring for 7 days until he gets hungry. On the 8th day, he cuts into his hunger and starts cutting Goring's leg. Trauma Gas. He starts calling Goring his little snail. Maru attacks her and frees Goring. Goring kills Trauma Gassy, and they feed on some of his flesh. Maru nurses Goring and get back down on the platform to look for her son. Goring eats trauma, gases, and rotting flesh for survival for the whole month. On the night before Goring's transfer, as the gas spreads in the room, Trauma Gassy haunts him, telling him that they are the same. There's also Goring's fever dream of making love to Nero in the 3rd month. Goring recognizes a familiar face. He wakes up with a no and her dog, Ramesses II. She is an administration official who interviewed him before entering the hole. They are in level 33. Injury is firm in balancing the platform's equilibrium and ceases to feed all 200 floors equally, which Goring disagrees with, seeing what he experienced in platform 171 first. She tries to balance her food with her dog by eating in turns each day. He also persuades people below her to do the same. However, no one listens to her until Goring threatens everyone to fill other people's food with his feces. Everyone listened to him after that. Further tensions rose when Nero arrived on platform 33, unconscious, all bruised up and wounded. They panic so much about lifting Nero through a bed that they neglect Ramesses II. Goring suddenly notices the sudden drop in room temperature and sees Ramesses II biting a strip of meat. Goring quickly snatches Ramesses II and throws back the meat strip under the hole. When she regained consciousness, she attempted to eat Ramesses II, leaving blood and guts on the floor. After seeing this, Nehru goes to the platform, and an injury reveals that she has terminal cancer in Nogueira. Then she clarified that there are 200 floors in total, and that the administration would not allow children to join the program. Negating her ruse cause in the search for her son, she accuses Nero of being a delusional, aspiring actress who wanted to be an Asian, Marilyn Monroe. In the 4th month, Goring wakes up at level 202. He discovers that Inogiri has hanged herself. Now he gets forced to eat and, to no degree with trauma, gassy and in no glory insulting him. But he forcefully controls himself, even eating his book pages at the end of the month. His hallucinations worsen as trauma. Gassy persuades them to eat in no glory. In the 5th month, he wakes up on platform 6 with another roommate named Maharaj. The Virat attempts to climb upwards, but Goring convinces him to move downwards instead. They team up to persuade everyone to get rations equally. They start to distribute food from platform 50 below. Those who relent are treated violently. A wise inmate named Senor Bran Vang advises them to leave an untouched panna cotta as a message to the administration. As they descend further, they see Mira getting stabbed, multiple stabs in a fight. They help her. But it's too late. She's gone. In the confrontation, Goring gets bloodied up and suffers a fatal stab wound. Before they reached platform 250 and beyond, they saw many atrocities of humans way beyond their expectations. As Goring and Bharat go for platform 333, they notice how the platform has completely stopped. However, as they both step off, it lowers down once again. Then, they notice that they had not been freed nor frozen when they brought the panna cotta with them. They see her, whose lost son turns out to be a daughter, Nia, who doesn't speak the whole movie. So, there wasn't any hint of the child's identity. Goring and Bharat gave the panna cotta to the girl, presuming she was hungry and hadn't eaten anything for days. During the nighttime, he gets another hallucination from Trauma Gassy. They were tempting him to eat Bharat or the girl. What makes this hallucination worse is even though Giri and Mira appeared with Trauma Gassy to tempt Goring. Goring wakes up seeing Bharat bathing in his blood. Goring goes down to the bottom. A vacuous space with only the light from the uppermost rooms can provide limited visibility. Trauma. Gassy welcomes the bruised and wounded going below the dark space beyond the platform. They end up realizing that there's no need for Goring to aid the girl when it gets back up top to be the message. Goring joins Tri Magashi on the bottom floor. Goring demands from Tri Magashi not to be called Little Snail again with Trauma Gassy, replying not to use his word ever also. Goring ends his journey, leaving the girl on top of the platform as the message to the administration. And that's a wrap-up of today's movie recap. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave the like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.